Well, hello, Risa. Thank you for joining me today in another episode of Life with Purpose. Thank you for accepting. Thank you for joining us. And I know that you have a lot of good, interesting things to bring that you're going to share from your life, from your career, and from your own experience in all the beautiful things that I know you do for women. So just a little bit about yourself, and then you can like expand later. So Risa Gaull is the founder of Full Circle Wellness in Connecticut, correct?
Correct.
A mind body stress relief expert, a certified transformational life coach, and she specializes in relationship and personal empowerment coaching for women and has helped thousands of people over the past 20 years experience greater peace, health, and happiness in their lives. Risa helps women who are unhappy in their relationships get clear on what they want and need and learn how to create healthy, fulfilling relationships that honor their truth and are based on a strong foundation of self-love. And it's all about love after all. So go ahead and tell us a little bit more, expand to what I already said in my introduction, Risa. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you can offer.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for having me on. It's great to be able to be here and share. So my focus now is really on helping women who are struggling in their relationships and just helping them get clear on what they want, what they need. And, I feel like we're in a great time of transformation, and especially having come through this past year with the pandemic and, the women who, if you weren't all that happy in your relationship before that happens, you're a lot less happy now with all the extra added stress and confinement of the, situation in this past year. So I was helping people in general with stress management, but really the past several years has been more of a focus on relationship coaching for women. And that's been I bring my life experience to that because I spent a long time being married to a man who struggled with alcoholism and depression. And it was really through that experience that I learned so much about myself and what it takes to be in a healthy relationship.
And that was going to be my first question, because I know that you help women based on your own experience and life lessons. So when did you realize that you could help people and support them using your own personal experience?
Yeah, I'll tell you, my big life lesson and was really just about understanding that to be in a healthy relationship, and it all starts with our own relationship with ourselves. Like I just did not realize how much I was looking to my partner, my husband at the time, for just my sense of security, my sense of who I am, just to get that love and approval. And I think that's the mistake that we all make to some degree, is just looking to sources outside of ourselves to make us feel happy or secure or okay. And so it was really through that experience that I didn't realize I was I didn't know the word codependent at the time. And I don't necessarily, use that label, but it's really, I didn't even know what that meant at the time. But yeah, we were all very, it was unhealthy. We were very intertwined, very, it's very codependent. And then he really, struggled. He went down, and then I had a choice to make. It's like, well, I can either go down with you, or I can, it's like, I wish you didn't make me choose, but if I have to choose between you and me, I have to choose me. And it's not going to help anybody if I put myself in the toilet with you.
No, thank you for bringing that up, because actually our life with purpose is based on the life experiences and obstacles and trials and tribulations that our guests go through and how they overcome these situations in their lives. So it's based on a series of tips that we offer throughout the interviews. And you're already given us a lot of things. So tell us a little bit about what you just said. People with situations in which they find themselves having to choose between someone that you love so much and yourself. And a lot of people tend to go to, I guess it's our nature. They say people are bad. I think people are really good, because automatically it is our nature to choose those that we love, our children, our parents, our partners. So tell us a little bit about that, so that, men or women know when to choose themselves first.
Yeah, it's really it's like the most painful thing when there's someone you love who's struggling and you can't help them. And it wasn't for lack of trying, because I stayed with him once he relapsed. He was sober when I met him. And then about 7 years into the marriage, I think it was, that he relapsed into alcoholism. I didn't know anything about alcoholism. And so really, I stayed with him for 7 more years after that. And I went to a lot of Al-Anon. I got really great support for Al-Anon. I highly recommend that for anybody who has a partner that's struggling with alcoholism, or a child. I can't even imagine how painful it would be if it was your child. You can't divorce your child.
No.
But yeah, so it was just through that whole experience that I really learned how do you handle a situation like that. It's like we have to learn how to detach with love and recognize what.
I'm sorry, how do you do
Yeah.
that?
I know it took me a long time to figure that out. It's like, well, how do you do that? How can I love you and also let you go? It takes a lot of, it helps if you have some faith, have some spirituality. They say, let go and let God, and just know that, everybody has their own higher power, and I'm not it.
Right.
Right. That was a good awakening. It's like, oh, he has his own, his own source, and I'm not it. And and it's like the whole idea of detachment, why I finally got it was, it's like, oh, it's okay. Like it's about what's my responsibility and what's not. And it's like, if I could have jumped into his skin at the time and lived his life for him and made his choices, I would have done it. A good thing I have my own body and he has his own body. And I finally learned, it's like, I'm not responsible. I'm responsible for me and my life. It's not my job to try and live your life for you. And it doesn't feel good to anybody. You have to sort of give them the dignity to make their own choices and learn whatever their life lessons are that they're learning through their experience. So
I know that
I don't have control over other people's choices or behavior. And I'll just say one more thing, and I'll let you jump in. It's just that, can I tell you I'll tell you a quick story that kind of really brings it home.
We love stories. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm walking out of an Al-Anon meeting one night. I used to go every week, a few times a week, and I would just cry my eyes out and my heart was just breaking. And I was walking out one night with my friend Liz, and we're under the stars. And I just said to her, it just makes me so sad to see how sick he is. And she turns to me lovingly and says, it makes me sad to see how sick you are. And I was just like, wow.
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 That was powerful.
It was really powerful. And I'm really grateful that she said that to me, because not a lot of people would probably have the guts to say that, but she said it was done in love. And it was that moment. I really whoa, I got it. It's like my sickness is the degree that I'm making my well-being dependent on another person's choices and behavior. Right. It's my job to take care of me and my well-being. And that's where we get into trouble, is when our happiness, our sense of well-being is dependent on how another person's behaving. We're giving away our power. So yeah, I just learned so much about how we need to stay within our own power, within our own, to take our number one job is to take care of our own emotional well-being. And it doesn't serve anybody if we don't.
I was going to say, before you told us that story, and thank you for sharing that you talk a lot in your Facebook group about this specifically.
Mm-hmm.
How not to give up your power, how to take your power back and say, wait a minute, I'm important. And so tell us a little bit about that special, beautiful group you have on Facebook and the women there, and how do you talk to your women and tell them, Listen, this happened to me. That's why I have the authority sort of to talk about it, because I went through it and I know what I'm telling you, which is what many things go like, how do you know this if you didn't go through this? Well, in your case, you went through it. So you know what you're talking about. So tell us a little bit about how you handle women that come to you with this sort of thing.
Yeah, so I have a Facebook group. It's called Should I Stay or Should I Go? Relationship Support for Women Who Want to Feel Empowered in Love and in Life. And so, whether your situation is your spouse is dealing with substance abuse or not, and a lot of them, it's not, it's a different situation, but the same principles apply. It's like, it's the same mistake, is that we're looking to other people. Our happiness is dependent on like how other people are behaving, and that's, everybody's situation is different. And there's a lot of women who are they want to try and improve their relationship, and that is the issue. It's really, it all comes back to your relationship with yourself, and that is the process of how you get clear on what you want and what you need. Is you get your focus off it's like, it's not even about the partner. And people don't understand that right away. It took me a while to get that. In that moment when Liz said that to me, it's like, oh, it's like, it's not even about him. It's about me. Where am I? Where am I in all of this? And so we got to get the attention back on ourselves, and just, start to honor how we feel, honor the truth of how we feel, which, I know is scary initially. If you're thinking about making a big change, and you're leaving your relationship, it brings up so much fear and worry. And, there's people need a lot of support with, sorting that out. And if you're unhappy in your relationship, and, maybe it is time to lovingly let it go. But in the meantime, it's about, I think, gleaning the opportunity for personal growth of like what, even if like maybe you have outgrown the relationship, maybe you're evolving past each other, or maybe it can be improved. Maybe it is just a matter of finding ways to communicate and reconnect. So it's different for different people. Sometimes you can make it work, and sometimes it is time to move on.
Some of the questions that I hear in my own coaching, people asking me, I don't know, just tell me, is it ever going to end? Of course, we don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. They don't have the answers. But what do you answer to someone who says, oh my gosh, it seems like I've done it all, but it's still there. Is it ever going to end?
Yeah, the struggles. I know a lot of the women, they come in, it's like they've tried everything, counseling, and there's some statistics that show like over 80% of the time couples counseling doesn't really work. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And not to bash counseling, I'm sure there's some good counselors out there that have been helpful, but just statistically in general, like people say it hasn't really helped them, and sometimes even makes it worse. But what I've discovered through my life experience, through my training as a transformational life coach, and my experience in working with all the women that I've been working with over the past several years, is that they're actually, if you're trying to figure out if you can make it work or not, there actually is a process that you need to go through. I call it the relationship clarity process. And it really begins with what we're talking about is, first of all, get your attention off what's not working, because that's what you focus on expands, and it's just not, like, how's that working for you? It's not, right? So you get the attention back on yourself. You get really, really just focus on getting in good alignment with yourself. We heal like any of those old patterns like that. I learned through my experience in my relationship how codependent I was. But any patterns that are running within you, we all have this stuff, that we pick up, whether it's like, I'm afraid I'm going to be abandoned, or I'm afraid I'm not good enough, or, like those are the two main ones. But we all have these sort of core, limiting beliefs, we call them. And then, that affects how we show up for ourselves and in our relationships and in our lives. So we look at all those patterns and start to unwind those so that you can show up whole and as the person you want to be for you in your life and as the partner you want to be, and you up level your communication skills. And then you can see, it's like a dance. You can see, is he able to dance with you now on this level? You know, is he leaning in? Is he leaning out? And you get, you know, you be who you are first, you be who you want to be. And then, and combined with the, learning how to do good communication, good constructive communication, but interrupting the negative patterns of interaction that are going on with your partner, then you see it's like an experiment and it's a process and everybody has their own time. And I don't tell anybody what to do. You have to come to that truth in your own heart, in your own time when you're ready.
Yeah, and thank you for stressing that, because people think in their desperation and our desperation, we all have a situation in our lives to get things fixed. We go to counselors or mentors or coaches thinking that they're going to give us the answer. And I tell them all the time, we don't give you the answer. We help you find it. We guide you. You have it in you. You just have to dig a little deeper and find it. So we're not here to tell you what to do, because like you said, Risa, everybody's different. Everybody has a different situation. I want to move on now to something very interesting also about you that we haven't mentioned. And it's that you combined ancient wisdom and modern science, right? And you incorporate that in your wellness program. So tell me a little bit about that, because you have a lot of experience in that arena.
Yeah, so my background is health and wellness, and I've been studying Chinese medicine, Tai Chi, Qigong for over 20 years. And so one of the things that I do primarily is called Qigong. I don't know if people are familiar with Qigong. Means energy work. It's ancient
I don't
Chinese
know. I have a problem even pronouncing that.
Qigong is Qigong. Qigong. Qi means energy, your life energy. You know, that Chinese word qi. It's your life energy. Gong means a worker to achieve a skill through practice. Qigong means energy work. Ancient Chinese healing exercise work with your qi in your body. So it's kind of like acupuncture, but instead of needles, you use your movement, your breath, your focus of your intention to move your qi, move your life energy in your body for health, for peace of mind. And so I love to incorporate these mind-body stress relief techniques, these ancient healing practices into the transformational work, because it doesn't all, it's not just a cognitive thing. We have to work, you know, we work on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. So, you know, it's to really be able to embody and reconnect with yourself. The Qigong is a very powerful tool for just how to really be calm and centered and find that peace within yourself. So I think it's
so
a
how do you
beautiful
find that
combination.
balance between modern science and that wisdom of Qigong and that? And when did you discover that you had that skill? Because not everybody can take up on that.
Yeah. So like I said, I was traditionally trained in health and wellness. My bachelor's was health and wellness. And so I know a lot about nutrition and exercise and like all the traditional wellness things. So I bring that in too, along with the Chinese medicine and the transformational life coaching. So it's a good array of tools, because it's, you know, we have to tend to our physical well-being as well as our mental and emotional well-being. And, you know, as we do the transformational work. So, you know, depending on the work, whatever the client needs, it's all customized. So, you know, if you're needing support with, you know, just some physical wellness practices, food or sleep or anything like that, that just supports, you know, that we need to be able to support ourselves on a physical level too. Like us, our foundation is how we feel in our bodies, how we're taking care of ourselves physically. So that can be part of it too, the work that we do.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you this question before I go back to the people that you help with partners or significant others, and even children with drug problems, alcohol problems. I understand that this practice, this combination that you do is really good, and it has good results for parents who are dealing with children, now focusing more on the parents who are dealing with children with this kind of issue of alcoholism, drugs, etc. So can you tell us a little bit more about that for those parents out there who are currently dealing with that?
Yes. And first of all, I send you all love, and my heart goes out to you if you have a child who is struggling with substance abuse, because I know how painful it is, just having dealt with a spouse and, the child, it's like, I know it's like your heart. And so I would highly encourage Al-Anon, first of all, and get the support. Don't do it alone. Like, go get some support. Definitely, I would seek out Al-Anon, any of their literature, learning the principles, or they have all kinds of online support groups. But it's the kind of stuff that we were talking about, is just recognize. It really comes down to just recognizing, what do you have control over and what do you don't, or what don't you have control over. And sort of the core piece, like I was saying, it helps if you have some sense of spirituality. But if you know the serenity prayer, that really kind of sums up all the teachings of Al-Anon. So, the serenity prayer is,
do you have
God.
it handy? Can you?
Yeah, I'll just tell you, it's
Yeah.
God or source, or whatever word you want to use, God, whatever your understanding of that is. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's a very strong prayer, that it's applicable to all areas of life at any moment in time.
It took me a long time to figure out what, the wisdom to know the difference. What do you have control over and what you don't? And so,
I thought of the question because you mentioned, that your heart goes out to before in the beginning of our interview, that not only as a partner, but having children going through this, or young adults. And I know a lot of parents who are going through this right now with young adults, and they don't see it, and they feel that they want to fix it. And it's, or the guilty feeling that it's my fault, I did something wrong. So what do you tell those parents? Because like you said, you cannot divorce your children. So you don't
if you
divorce
go
your
to
children.
Al-Anon, they tell you,
what do you do instead to support them? And you support yourself.
So they if you go to Al-Anon, they will tell you the 3 C's. You didn't cause it, you can't control it, and you can't, I always forget the third one now, and you can't, didn't cause it, can't control it, and you can't change it, or something like that. But it's never, it's never, we think that we had a part in it, and sometimes our partner or our child will make us think that, oh, well, it's your fault, you made me do that. No, everybody's responsible for their own choices. And so just recognizing it, it's natural to feel that way, but that's the nature of substance abuse, and it's not your fault. And just knowing, you don't have control over it, and it really, it makes it worse for everybody when we do what's natural, which is what we want to do, is try and fix it and control it. But when you're trying to control stuff that you don't have control over, that's my definition of suffering, right? It's like,
No, thank you for that. We could be talking about this
I know we could talk
forever.
a long time about that.
There's so much to say. I wanted to jump now to you're also an integrative medicine consultant. That you provide specialized programs for people with cancer and Parkinson's disease. I thought that was really important. So in your programs for balance and for prevention, what are some of the tips that you offer? What do you do? How do you handle that that area where you help?
So I teach Qigong classes. I'm not doing a whole lot of that anymore, but I'm connected with several of the hospitals in the area, doing specialized programs for people with cancer and Parkinson's. Actually, I'm still doing that class. I do have an online class if people are interested in that. If they want to email me, they can jump on my online Qigong for Parkinson's, Tai Chi and Qigong. So just basically through those practices, there's different techniques that we use to help people feel more grounded and get a better connection with their sense of their connection with their feet on the ground, their sense of, we do a lot of work with balance. So it's just using the Tai Chi and the Qigong practice to improve balance. And yeah, there is can be simple but really powerful, really quick, effective things to just help people be
I
more.
love how you have this sense of peace in you that you
Mhm.
it just comes through the screen. So I wanted to like take my hat off to you for that. Really,
Mm.
it's a beautiful thing, to be able to talk to someone that transmits that kind of positive energy and beauty. That light coming out of you. So I really, thank you for that, and I'm sure that my audience will appreciate that as well. So how do you tie all that integrative medicine with? Because I understand that you're also an accomplished healer. I read
Mhm.
a few things about you, so and they're
Yeah.
all so beautiful. So tell us a little bit more about how you do that. How do you heal people? And I'm assuming that it's from a combination of all of these things that you have. And also later we're going to go ahead and you're going to tell us about your program coming up at the end of March.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so I also do what's called medical qigong therapy, which is again it's like acupuncture but without needles, and it's sometimes hands off or hands on, working with acupressure points, and sometimes hands off, just working with the energy around the body. So, and then I can also do remote energy healing, distance healing, which is amazing and very powerful.
Ooh.
I have a lot of people that it's been really helpful for. I have some testimonials on my website about that too. I know it seems kind of like a woo woo and kind of far out there, but it's really powerful. And so I love doing the distance healing
Hmm.
work, and I get it's sort of combined with like it's an intuitive skill, so I can tune in. I don't have to be in your physical presence. I can just tune into your energy field, and usually I have we'll have a Zoom call or a phone conversation, and you tell me like what's going on with you, and I can feel into your energy, and just do some clearing, and
Wow. Mhm. Do you work
yeah.
with chakras like in yoga that we have the chakras and the energy centers, or just basically explain a little bit about that, because people say, how can I get sessions like remote sessions like that? And how is that even possible? Like when I teach yoga, I taught a couple of yogas through Zoom. It's like, it's not the same. So you tell me about that.
Yeah. So the chakra system, I mean, it's the energy, it's the same energy system, but there's different, cultures and different ways to map it. So like Indian culture, traditional ancient Indian culture, sort of looks at it in terms of chakras. Chinese medicine, they wouldn't necessarily, call it the same things, but it's all the same energy system in the body, working more along with like the balance of chi in the organs and in the meridians, the different energy pathways that run through the body. But also I was trained in the training I did. The teacher I had did bring that in too. So yeah, we work with chakras, we work with all of that. And I know it's amazing. You think how is that possible for people to do this distance healing? It's been explained through Einstein's theory of relativity and quantum physics. There's
E
actually been
equals
a
DM to the square.
yeah, there's actually been a lot of interesting research, amazing like things. Just, we don't have to be in someone's physical presence to be able to connect in with their energy and affect their energy.
Mm.
So, yeah, like I said, it is an intuitive skill, and I feel in, and I can do clearing, and I get sort of like intuitive information too. It's like a combination of an intuitive reading, if you've ever had one of those, with an energy clearing. So as I'm doing it, like we would talk, and then I would just have you, get off the line and then like lie down and just relax for a half hour or an hour, depending on how long we're going to work. And then I just work on you. I feel what I feel. I clear your energy. If I'm getting information at the same time, usually I get a lot of information, and I just take like notes. I just take like pages of notes, and then we get back on the phone, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I feel so much better. The pain is gone." And
Mm.
then I get their observations, and then I can share with them. I say, "Okay, now here, I'll share with you. Like this is what came through for you." So
Mm.
it's healing on all levels, giving
That's
information
a
to,
skill. That's a skill that you
yeah.
have to develop. That is not something
Yeah.
that you say, oh, I do this and I can do this for you on Zoom and that's it. That's something that you have to develop. And
Yeah.
also that's something that you have to protect yourself from, in terms of, the energy work.
Mhm.
So how do you do to protect yourself, to put that shield, to protect you so that it doesn't affect
Mhm.
you?
Yeah, so that's part of the training is learning how to set
Okay.
it up. You like when we do like a hookup in the beginning. So you're hooking into you're getting yourself aligned. You're getting yourself bringing in only the highest healing energy, and then also yeah, just creating like that shield around yourself. And so yeah, so you're keeping yourself intact while you're doing it. And then there's afterwards too, there's like I clean my own energy field
Right.
afterwards too.
Yeah, that's
You
important to
do
do.
pick, you do pick it up.
So
Yeah.
yeah, well, before we go on and talk about your program, I don't know if you want to give us some tips or talk about your program first, and then give us some final takeaway for our audience to take into consideration on how to love themselves and how to find their own way and have a life with purpose.
Yes, I'd be happy to. So if you are a woman and you're struggling in your relationship right now, I'd like to invite you to join me. I'm doing a free 5-day video training coming up in a couple of weeks, week of March 29th. And Laura's going to pop in a link if you want to get more
Yeah, we're going to
information
put the
about
link,
that.
we're going to put the information and all that. Yeah.
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 So it's the 5 keys to discover if you can make your relationship work.
Mhm.
So day 1, we're going to talk about what's not working and can you fix it? Day 2, what do you need to be happy? Day 3, what keeps you stuck? And there's a lot of good reasons why we stay stuck in things we're unhappy with. Day 4, communication hacks for constructive conversations. We're going to do really good teaching on communication, which is the big one that everybody wants.
Mhm.
And day 5, how do you know when it's time to go? And dive in a little bit more into what does that relationship clarity process look like? So that's coming up. If anybody is in that situation where you're struggling with the question of whether or not to stay in your relationship, I highly recommend you jump on that training. If you can't make it live, there will be recordings for people who register. But it will just give you, after this training, it will just give you some peace and some clarity. We're not going to obviously make any big life decisions in 5 days, but you're going to understand like what the process looks like that you need to go through, so you can just get off the fence, just climb down off the fence, and be at peace with where you're at right now, and see that there is a path ahead of you that you're on, and it's all okay. You're exactly where you need to be right now, even if it doesn't feel good. And so I guess, in wrapping it up, just know that, wherever you're at right now, it's okay. And,
Yeah, I want also, because people that are going to be on the training are going to take advantage of this. Hopefully you'll sign up and see, or enjoy and take advantage of everything that Risa has to offer. But also this is a video podcast, as you know, and it's going to be on YouTube and also on the main podcasting platform. So don't worry if you don't get to the training by the end of the month, because I'm sure that Risa has more things coming up for you. That's why we're going to share all the links that she has so that we can be in tune with what's coming up for her in the future, for her programs, for my programs, and everything else. So like you said, to wrap up, just go ahead, Risa, and what do you have here for Life with Purpose for the audience and everybody else who's watching or listening?
Yeah, definitely. You can always come to the group if you're listening to this later and you missed the training. I do trainings like every other month, but the group, there's always recordings every Friday. I'm on there for like a mini training. So yeah, lots of good resources and free trainings in the group if people want to jump on there. But yeah, just to wrap it up, I would say, you are a powerful creator, and what you focus on is what you experience more of. I have a little quote that I put in my group the other day. It said, your mind is like a garden. You can choose to grow weeds or you can choose to grow seeds. Or
Whoa,
see, you can
beautiful.
plant seed. That's actually, I just messed it up. You can choose to plant seeds or you can choose to grow weeds.
Well, it was great too.
You know what I'm trying to say. But it's so I just would encourage you right now to, take a breath, do whatever, I always tell people, like, the go-to question is, what do I need to do right now or today to take care of myself? So whatever situation you're in, that's always the go-to question. That's the bottom line. What do I need to do to take care of myself right now? Maybe I need to just stop and take a few breaths. Maybe I need to go for a walk. I don't know, maybe I need to go to bed earlier or
Right.
eat something healthy or, so it's just always the go-to question.
Maybe I need to listen to Risa and let me go to the Facebook group. Listen
Come
to
on
her.
over. Yeah. But also just know that, this is a lot of what we do. And I know you do in your coaching work too, Laura, is just how to manage your thoughts and your focus. And that is, it's actually a skill that you learn, but just be gentle with yourself. And what can I do? What do I need to do today to take care of me? And what can I do that is going to make me feel good? What can I focus on? Can I find something good, some good feeling thoughts that I can focus on? Because it all starts there. It's like whatever you focus on, you're going to experience more of. So just be good to you, take care of you, try and focus on things that make you feel good, do things that are going to make you happy today. And nobody can take that away from you.
Nobody can. Nobody can. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and say goodbye to Risa for now, but know that you can find her on her Facebook group. Remind us again of the name of the group, Risa.
Yes, it's Should I Stay or Should I Go? Relationship Support for Women.
Okay, should I stay or should I go? For now, we are leaving, and Risa will continue preparing for her training. Make sure that you signed up. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And thank you to the audience of Life with Purpose on YouTube and on any of the main podcasting platforms. Risa, thank you for being with us. Namaste.
Thank you so much.